Okay. Okay, let's get this. Hey guys, Kitty here. Welcome back to the episode. Today is Valentine's Day as of recording. However, I'm posting it on Tuesday, so the day after. Sorry guys, kind of can't mess up my schedule just to upload on Valentine's Day, but today we're doing something Valentine's Day related, which is a manga review. Now, how is a manga review actually romance related, you may ask? Well, I'm doing rom-com specifically. Only one for today because, well, limited time, kind of got some problems, blah, blah, blah. But this is a really good book that I've actually gotten into recently that I think, I might as well share with people since I have some level of expertise on this thing, So without any further ado, let's get right into the first point. So, the book that we are going to be reviewing today is called Kaiju Girl Caramelize. It's basically a story about a girl named Kuroe who has a illness that causes her to turn into a kaiju, which, if you guys don't know what that is basically like Godzilla. Like, she just turns into Godzilla whenever her emotions go out of control. As you can see by the cover, that's what she looks like when she goes out of control. It's a pretty cool concept. So, her main love interest is named Minami. He's a super popular guy at school, every girl loves him for some reason. I don't know, I guess plot, but she starts to form feelings for him because he gives her attention when no one else does, because she's kind of like an outcast. Her nickname is Psychotan because, well, people think she's crazy for being alone all the time and doing all these like dumb things. So whenever she finds that out, she turns into a giant Godzilla and wreaks havoc across the city. Japan is going in a frenzy, being like, holy shit, there's a kaiju in Tokyo. This is real. It's not fake. And then they start shooting her with helicopters and crap. You get the idea. The premise itself is pretty unique, and I actually love the idea of it, which is why I wanted to pick it up in the first place. One good point I will say about this manga is there's only 5 out so far. So if you're wanting to get into a new manga, you don't have to invest too much into this so far. We got book 1, book 2. This is a bit more interesting. Surprisingly, the story gets a lot better after the first 2 books because a lot more characters are introduced with their own special quirks. There's like a King Kong reference in there, and I thought that was super cool. So overall, I'd say the execution of the concept is amazing. It gets a really nice job of getting its point across better than I do, because I suck at getting my point across, if you couldn't tell through my many cringy videos that I've made throughout the years. So with this, I want to say, the characters, they're really nice. They don't necessarily feel flat, they have their sort of one defining trait, but at the same time, it can go deeper than that once you actually start to understand the characters more and more throughout the story. So another thing that does annoy me about this is cliffhangers. Every single book ends on a cliffhanger, and that wouldn't be a problem if it didn't take months for the next one to come out, but it does, and it's painful, and I hate it so much. Like the 5th book, which is the last one that just came out last month, it ended on the biggest cliffhanger ever, and I'm so upset about that. But I will say that gives final points to my last category that I wanted to talk about, which is hype level. It hypes you up so much because you're just so excited to see what's going to happen. It always ends with a bang. There's something crazy about to happen, a giant monster somewhere, you get ready. It has a lot of action mixed with sci-fi and fantasy, as long as it doesn't really necessarily push the boundaries too far, but it really does a good job of blending that with the typical romance setting, if you will. I think it does just a great job overall. So, I definitely wanted to recommend this to people because, a lot of people know that I love anime and manga and things like that, and they'll always ask me for recommendations, and I don't know what to say most of the time. So I figured, while it's Valentine's Day and I can speak about romance, let me just talk about this one new one that I found. And I think it's pretty interesting. If anybody wants to read it, I recommend it. It's really good. Honestly. Plus, the artwork is just amazing. Look at this. This is the most recent one that came out. That artwork is just great. I love it. You could just flip through it for so long. And it's just so fascinating. The way that they portray the characters, especially with, the main character, Kuroe, she has, a Spyro kind of, color scheme to her. I don't know if there is actually any inspiration from that, but if there is, it's definitely noticeable, because she has, the golden horns, the more purpley skin, kind of, blocky-ish vibe that Spyro has. And I think it's just a really overall great execution of this story plotline, So that's really all I had to say for this video. I didn't want to drag it on too long. If you like the concept, I can flesh it out a bit more in another part, compare manga if you want. Or you can give me recommendations of manga that you like and you want to hear my opinion on. I'm fine with doing that too. I've read a lot more than just what's back here, but this is just my physical collection of things that I genuinely enjoy, you know? So if you have any ideas of where I should go from here, any suggestions, you know, leave them down in the comments. I'm always down. I always like them. You know, I always read through them. I try to respond my best to as many people as possible. And, you know, if you did enjoy this video, please like it. You know, I put a lot of work into what I do, even though it's not very apparent. It's a lot of work considering I'm still a student. You know, I have a lot of actual work to get out of the way before I do any of this. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bam! Bye!